Hello everyone. How are you? Okay, it is my first time going live on YouTube, and so this is all an experiment. We're going to see how it goes, but I'm so glad that you're joining us. I'm going to just move some screens around on my computer, try and get everything situated. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited that you came tonight. This is Hello Amaris. This is not widely publicized live because, again, I wasn't sure how things were going to go and I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of everyone. But I decided to give it a try and see how you enjoyed watching the Dear Crochetpreneur podcasts together. So we're going to watch the podcast together. It's 14 minutes long this time, and it's all about, can I sell finished products from someone else's design? So if you're a product seller, you don't design your own products. Can a designer tell you what you can and can't do with that finished product? So, hello, Lisa. Yeah, I got my hair done today, so I'm so excited. I was so afraid it was not gonna come out, and then I was gonna be afraid to come on video, so, but I love my hairdresser. It was so good to see her. It's been 3 months, I think, since I saw her, so forgive me. I don't know if you can hear my garage door opening. I don't know what my husband's doing, but, he's opening the garage. So anyway, it was so great to see my hairdresser. And if you haven't seen your hairdresser yet, just know you get to celebrate that day when you get to go see your hairdresser after being stuck home for a while. Feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know whether you're a seller or you're a designer. I'd love to know that. And we're just going to chit chat for a few minutes, give some time for people to pop in, and then we will go ahead and start the podcast. So, and if you see that Miss Katie is here from Greeley, Colorado, she is one of my student mentors in the Crochetpreneur Business Academy, and she's agreed to hop on and be a mentor tonight. So thank you, Katie. You rock as always. I appreciate you so much. So if you have a question and I am in the midst of talking or I missed your question, Katie will help me not miss it, or she can answer for you. She knows how I think, so she can help with that. Amaris is a seller from Georgia. Elisa is from Cambridge, Minnesota. Karen's here. Hello, Karen. Also a seller. So we have sellers and designers, and I'm really glad you guys came to support this little adventure that we're on. What do you say we give it just a few more minutes, and I feel like texting my husband and telling him to be quiet. Can you hear him moving things around in the garage? My hello, Sarah. My yarn studio is right above our garage, so when he messes around in there, sometimes you can hear it. So but he knows I'm doing a video. So let's see. So we have knitters, we have crocheters, we have sellers, designers. Lisa says she cannot hear him, so that is excellent. I think I don't know what he's doing. He's moving things around. Hello from Houston. Nice to meet you, M. Smith. If I already know you, you go ahead and tell me what name I know you by. I know people have different names on different social media platforms. Sometimes they go by their business name, and I know them by their personal name, and so sometimes it can get confusing. Brittany, I know you, knit and crochet seller from California. So what should we talk about? Should we talk about crochet? I think so. So I'm going to go ahead and get the podcast started. Anyone who's coming in late can always watch the video over again and hear it, or they can listen to it on the Crochetpreneur blog. But if you're here right now, I'd love for you to listen along. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see the little video and I really love those audiograms that you can watch bounce up and down when I'm listening to a podcast. So I thought you might like it too. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I will pop back on at the end of the podcast. Feel free to chat in the chat while the podcast is going. You're listening to episode 8 of the Dear Crochetpreneur podcast with psychotherapist and crochet designer turned crochet business coach and your biggest cheerleader, Dear Crochetpreneur. Hello there, Crochet CEOs. I'm so happy that you're here. I am Pam Grice, and I'm here to help you turn yarn into money with therapy for your crochet business. I'm so glad you're hanging out with me today. I'm going to tackle a question that I hear a lot of times in Facebook groups and Etsy forums and dark alleys, and maybe not dark alleys, but something that I hear a lot coming from makers, people who are creating crochet products, items to sell at craft fairs or online. It's one of those things that is keeping makers stuck, not growing their business, and a lot of times fearful to even grow their business. So what's the question? The question is, can I sell items made from other people's patterns? Maybe you've even asked this question yourself. Maybe even as a designer, you have asked yourself, do I want people to sell my finished products? I remember when I first started selling finished products, I didn't even know that this was a thing until one day I came across those dreaded words that we have all seen in crochet patterns that says this pattern is for personal use only. You may not sell items made from this pattern. And I was like, wait, what? Am I ever allowed to sell finished pieces that I didn't design? Do I need to learn how to design in order to sell at craft fairs? Like, what is going on? You know, I read this language and I'm like, wow, that sounds super official and that sounds very stern. Like, I better listen, right? I was wondering, like, would I get sued if I sold these products? What would happen if I didn't see this notification and I sold the products by accident? Who knew the world of fiber arts was so scary? Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever seen that notification and been like, whoa, wait, I don't want to get in trouble? Well, let's break this all down and see if we can make it a little less scary. Just note that I'm not a lawyer. This podcast and what I'm sharing for you is not legal advice. It's just for informational purposes only. I have to say that. If you have questions about your particular situation, please contact an intellectual property lawyer and they will be able to help you specifically. So I'm giving you general guidelines for what this all means. So in this podcast, I'm going to answer the question, can I sell items from other people's designs? What's the legal answer? What's the ethical answer? What's the reasoning behind all of this? And then we'll take a look at a few do's and don'ts to get you rolling in the right direction. All of this really comes down to copyright law. Like, what does the copyright law say, and what kind of legal protections does it give to pattern designers and people who create products? A copyright law is a legal protection given to the creator of a tangible item. So in this case, the tangible item would be the crochet pattern. If the crochet pattern is created in such a way that there is a tangible pattern, a PDF or a printout of a pattern, that designer has the right to give it away, sell it, donate it, copy it, do whatever they want with it. It's their work. They can do what they want, but only they possess that right. So that means that they can sue anyone who copies, sells, or distributes their pattern without permission. That's pretty simple, right? The written pattern is protected, but does that protection extend to the physical product that you make using that pattern? Well, there are some legal complications when it comes to fashion and specific design elements. That's kind of beyond the scope of what we're talking about today. If you have something going on that you have questions about specifically, go ahead and contact a lawyer. It's what they do, right? But the legal answer is, can I sell from someone else's design? Yes. The copyright law does not extend to the product that you create from someone else's pattern. You are the creator of that product. You made it, you own it. Of course, this doesn't apply if the thing that you've made is a trademarked image, like a Disney product or a Marvel Comics product or something like that. So we're talking specifically about something that its designer has created legally and that they have sold to you or provided to you for free, and you have created the finished product. So again, the legal answer is yes, you can sell the finished product that you create. Now, if there is restrictive language used in the pattern, and this is either before or after purchase, sometimes they don't tell you that they don't want you to sell the finished product until after you've already purchased the pattern, which is kind of shady, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? If you see restrictive language inside of a pattern that you have purchased or that you're using for free, should you honor that request? Absolutely. You guys, we are kind, thoughtful, ethical people, right? And so if a designer is asking you, please don't sell this product, don't sell it. Go find another pattern that you can use. Put this designer on your list of I'm not going to purchase from them again because I can't sell my products. You could even ask for a refund. I don't know if you would get it depending on the language of their shop. But if they ask, don't sell this finished product, please don't sell the finished product. It's just the honorable, kind thing to do. You might be asking, if you hadn't considered it before, why do designers even add these restrictions? If you had never even thought of it, like I hadn't thought of it when I first started designing, but I saw other people doing it. So even I started doing it. And it for me came out of this place of like, oh, they must know something I don't know. They're going to say, don't sell products made from my patterns. I'm going to say that too, because they obviously know more than I do. And then I realized like, oh, wait a second, I think this is all coming from a place of fear of being ripped off by big manufacturers, which isn't honestly, it's a real thing, right? Fear of being undercut and fear of competition. But ultimately, it's the designer's work they need to do about their mindset and to say, if I'm afraid that someone's going to compete with me and undercut my prices of finished products, maybe I don't put the pattern out there. There's that little piece to it. Sometimes it's naivete, like I said, what I did, like I didn't know what I was doing, so I just kind of copied what I saw other people doing. Sometimes it's a desire to protect the integrity of their work, like their pattern, their design is their baby, and they don't want other people to mess it up, right? So they don't want it going out there as a symbol of something that they've designed if it's not up to their high standards, and they have no control over that. So that kind of loss of control can be really hard for designers. Also, on the way far end of the spectrum, it could be some power trip. It could be some, elevated sense of self-importance and whatever, that's fine for them, right? But for you, as the person purchasing the design and trying to make the finished product, that doesn't have anything to do with you. Read what it says in the small print. If it says, please don't sell this pattern, please don't sell it. Or if it says, please don't sell the finished product, don't sell the finished product, just to cover yourself and to give some grace to the designer, right? So what should you do as you're looking at patterns to pick something that you can sell? Well, first do your research, right? A lot of people don't read the description in pattern listings. And so read the entire listing, see if it says anything about either you have permission to sell or you don't have permission to sell. If they don't say anything, you can infer that you have permission to sell because legally you do have permission to sell. So do your research. If there's a request to not sell, honor that request. Do give credit to the designer. So if you do sell either at craft fairs or online, go ahead and say at the bottom of your listing or a little sticker on your tag saying this design or this product was designed by such and such a designer. And you can even link back to their shop if you want to. If you don't know, if you have questions, reach out, ask, right? It's just kind to say like, hey, I found your pattern. I want to use it to sell products in a craft fair. And do I have permission to do that? You don't have to send that request, but it's kind to do that. And it's a great way to network with designers and other people in the community. And then again, do tag the designer. So some don'ts. Do not distribute a pattern. So if you find a pattern, even for free online, that does not mean that you get to go share that pattern everywhere. You can share a link to the pattern, and that's kind. That's a great way to share with other people that, hey, I found this great design, go to the designer's blog, right? Do not use designers' photos in your marketing. If you're making a physical product from a designer's pattern and you're going to be selling that product, make the product, take a photo so you're honestly showing potential customers what it will look like when you make it. Because sometimes when a maker creates a product, it does not look exactly like what if the designer created it. Using their photographs is deceptive and illegal. Their photographs are copyright protected, so do not use photographs owned by the designer. I had someone come at me once and said, I found this photo on Google. If Google can use it, so can I. That is a misperception of what Google is and what it's used for. So Google does not own those photos. They're not using those photos. The designer is using those photos to market. Don't use a designer's photos. If you find a designer who has limitations on their products and you don't like that, just don't purchase from them again. That doesn't mean you need to go out publicly and slam that designer, right? You don't need to go on Facebook or Instagram and say such and such a designer, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. It doesn't look good, okay? It just makes you look bad. And finally, I have a little note to designers. This is me, a designer, talking to you, talking to your heart. I know it's hard to give up control. I know it's hard to create something and not know what people are going to do with it, okay? It's fair to ask for credit. Give help to people on how to do that. If you have a blurb that says, please credit me as the designer when you sell these products, here's how you do that. Tell them, link to my blog, or say, the designer is Made with a Twist, or the designer is Pam Grice. Like, tell them how you want to be credited. And finally, do not go after or shame or threaten someone who doesn't credit you. Sometimes it's just by accident. Give people grace, give them a break, okay? Everyone is trying to do their best. And if you don't want people to sell your finished products, you need to consider, should I keep this for myself? If you're selling physical products and you don't want the competition, then consider, maybe I don't put this pattern out into the world. Maybe I keep it for myself until I decide to stop selling physical products. And ultimately, if you have questions about this as a designer, contact a lawyer. There are copyright lawyers out there who are there to help you. So contact them and get the help you need to make wise decisions for your business. You guys, all of these tips will be in episode 8's show notes at crochetpreneur.com/8, where I'll have links to more helpful resources like my article, 5 Ways Crocheters Break the Law Every Day. You'll also find our YouTube premiere of this episode posted on the Wednesday following its release. And you can come to the premiere. If you are listening to this on Monday and you want to come to our premiere on Tuesday, go ahead to youtube.com/madewithatwist and get your reminder so you can pop on live and answer questions, and I'll be there to answer questions for you. You guys, I hope you'll find that helpful. I can't wait to see how you implement this in your business. I hope it gives you the freedom to do the right thing, go make your products and sell them, and grow your profitable crochet business. That's it for today. Be sure to get your printable handmade business binder when you go to crochetpreneur.com/binder. And never miss an episode when you subscribe to the Dear Crochetpreneur podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast listening platform. If you'd like your crochet business to be featured on an upcoming episode, be sure to go to crochetpreneur.com/questions and submit your question. I want to thank you for tuning in today. It means so much to me that you've spent some time hanging out, and I can't wait to do it again next time. Until then, I'm cheering you on. How do I stop? Stop. Hello, I'm back. So, how was that for you guys? Again, this is my first time live streaming my podcast on YouTube. So if you enjoyed that, please let me know. Please give this video a like so that I know that you enjoyed it and that I should consider doing this again, which I probably will because it's fun and I like to connect with you guys in this way. So Lisa says she enjoyed it. Karen said that was awesome. Thank you guys. So if you have questions, I know, so I recognize it's funny when I listen to myself back, I'm like, I repeat this, I say so a lot. And I also, I repeat certain phrases all the time. And that's just kind of what I do. I have some weird, I don't know. Anyway, if you have any questions, would you please ask them in the chat so that we can have a quick Q&A this evening, and we'll let it go as long as we need to. I mean, not over an hour for this entire video, but however long you need. Questions about this podcast or any other crochet business questions that you had. Hi, Tamara, you said you joined late. So as soon as we're done, I'm going to go ahead and post this to YouTube so you can go ahead and watch it again if you want to watch the part that you missed. So did you learn anything new? Was there anything that stood out to you? What was the one thing that you learned from the podcast today? Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry all of a sudden. I'm just going to drink more water. Katie, since you love this topic, if you have anything that you would like to add, I'm happy to have you do that. We have a question. If I'm a maker, do I really need a blog or website? It depends on what your goals are for your business. If you are a hobbyist who wants to go into business and make a few bucks to pay for yarn, you don't need to invest in a blog or a website. If you want to become a brand that's highly sought after and seen as professional, and you want to start making a reasonable part-time or reasonable full-time income, eventually you're probably going to want to start a blog and eventually have your own website to sell things on. Part of that is just the piece that makes you a professional business, is that you have a presence online that doesn't depend on someone else like Facebook or Etsy or Ravelry in order to define your business and where you are. Also, as you move along in your business, something that I suggest that every crochet business or every small business owner does is to diversify. And so part of that diversification is bringing in other income streams, and something that creates a lot of various income streams for crochet business owners is having a blog. You can do advertising, you can have an opt-in with a tripwire, and so that's like an upsell that people can pay for. You can have sponsored posts. So there's a whole variety of ways that you can make money with your crochet business. And so simply selling at craft fairs or simply selling on Etsy, it is a great place to start. But if you want to grow big and you want to have a full-time income, I always suggest that you diversify as much as possible, so that when there are downtimes, like the slow season for crochet, you have other sources of income so that you're not really losing out. So I hope that helps. Katie said, I just always try to remind makers that when they see these requests on patterns, remember that the designer is scared. Exactly, and possibly new to design, so be kind and understanding while they grow. That's exactly it. So many people come into the business feeling fearful. They hear stories about people having their things stolen, people losing their businesses, people being mean, people, all of this stuff. And so they come in tiptoeing into the business and feeling fearful and not really knowing how great it can be, right? So we don't always come into it like everything's going to be great. I'm so excited, right? So thank you, Katie, for sharing that. It's so many times when someone uses restrictive language like that, it really is from a place of fear of, I don't want to lose money. I don't want to, I don't want to lose control, all of those things. Brittany said, likes my saying, this is my mantra, I can't make all the hats, because that's how I hold my business loosely as far as the maker side of my business of, I can share a pattern and all the other people can make hats too, and all the people can have hats, and there's enough for everybody, and everyone can have income coming in, and it's great. So what if you just use like the cast on or the number to start, but change everything else about the pattern? Do you think it's okay? You can change whatever you want in a pattern, but you can't then say that it's yours. So now, crochet hats. So I make crochet hats with super chunky yarn. There's only so many stitches you can use in a beginning row for a crochet hat made from super chunky yarn for an adult size, right? And so just because someone's using the same number of stitches to cast on doesn't mean they're copying. So it really comes down to, what does your gut tell you? Are you copying someone's pattern? Are you not copying someone's pattern? Are you going off of someone's pattern? Are you creating something new? So really it comes down to your own value system, your own ethics, and what your gut is telling you. So if you're using someone's pattern and you change a whole bunch of things and they say you can't sell the finished product, and you say, well, I'm not even sure this finished product is really what you designed, check in with yourself and say, does this feel right or does this not feel right? And usually your gut will tell you the correct answer. So sometimes you just have to go with your gut, really, because there's no, the law and even ethical, moral stances on things often don't account for those nuances of situations. So as the CEO of your business, you need to kind of decide that for yourself. Anybody else? What else is going on? Hello, Christine Long. It's good to see you here. I'm so glad that I get to see all of your chats and everything. So YouTube live streaming is fun. So I often tell my people, do things that are scary. And so for me, this was my scary thing. I told my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't crash and burn with my live stream tonight. So far so good, you guys. I'm gonna just ask one more time if anybody has questions, because I'm happy to stay and answer them if you have them, or if you have anything else you'd like to say. Has this ever happened to you where you were surprised that you couldn't sell something? Do you have any suggestions for people on how to let people know, like, I don't want you to sell this? I mean, I always suggest people put those kind of restrictions in their listings so that your buyers are informed, rather than they purchase your pattern thinking they can sell it, and then on the back end they find out they can't, and then they feel like they wasted $5 or however much, and it doesn't create a good memory of working with your business. And we always want our customers to walk away feeling good about the interaction that they had with us. So if you tell them up front all of the things, then they get to make their own decision, and then they walk away feeling like they had some control over that you weren't baiting and switching anything or anything like that. So I hope that makes sense. And oh, I switched my screen. Okay, any more questions? It doesn't look like it. So I am going to let y'all go. And again, oops, hang on. I emailed the designer because I couldn't find anything about it. She gave permission and asked that I credit her as the designer. Easy peasy, right? Perfect. Katie says, I actually have a maker who sells items from one of my patterns, and it has done great things for me because she always gives credit, and it can be a great symbiotic relationship. I agree, because other people might want to make it too, and not necessarily sell it, but they want to find your pattern. They want to know, like, oh my gosh, who is the designer? And it's a great way for you to work together, makers and designers to work together. So that's great. I don't yet know what next week's podcast is going to be about, but if you have a question, go to, I'll put it in the chat here, go to crochetpreneur.com/questions and submit, or it might be question without an S. Go ahead and submit your question, and I will mention you and your business on the podcast if I use your question. And I think I'll be back here, and it'll probably be Monday night, and I will let you know if you're on my email list. I will let you know when the live stream for episode 9 will be. So thank you, Patricia. All right. I will see you guys next week, I hope. And in the meantime, I'll see you on Instagram or on Facebook. And that is that. All right. Thanks for coming. See you guys later. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. All right. See you.